Awesome.
I got you. Welcome to another episode of the Views from the Stand. I've got my expert already. Some are not too happy, but some are over the top. 8 points over the chasing pack on top of the Premier League table. We know that some teams like Arsenal have thrown away 8 point gap before, Manchester United, other teams, but Liverpool are in a place where you cannot say they are champions in waiting. But it's just too early in the season to say that. And the fact that I know that Man City will beat them next week means that 8 points is just 5 points in my calculation. But then that doesn't change anything. Chelsea started this season with a bomb squad, a nursery, a poultry, and a football club. But then at the end of the day, it seems like they've harmonized everything and prepared a proper garden because even when they're not playing well, they are winning. Manchester United have had 3 coaches in less than 15 games in the Premier League this season. Yes, the peer-headed, low-budget Pep Guardiola, uh, Ruud van Nistelrooy, who steadied the ship in the storm, and Ruben, I too know Amorim, the Amalekites, came in. And first game, I thought, playing against Ipswich Town would have been the best fixtures anybody expected. But guess what? It was only Manchester United that know how to bundle some things like that. 90 seconds into the game, Marcus Rashford playing at center forward had already stabbed the ball into the net. I thought that the goalkeeper was too weak. And the pace with which they started. But then Manchester United, they came in a flash and they fell in a dash. So you couldn't really say here that they are back unless Bobby have a different idea. I don't know what idea Abiba have. But I'm sure the Chelsea man from Ghana is feeling comfortable. So I'm going to go to the Chelsea man because our ancestor is with us, but Liverpool, come on, Liverpool, there's nothing to talk about Liverpool. It was Southampton that destroyed themselves. They started well, played their best football on the night, but at the same time, they self-destroyed. But let's go to Ghana and talk to Marcus Bafo. Marcus, let's talk about Chelsea. They said the hallmark of a great team is when they're not playing well, they still manage to squeeze 3 points out of every opposition. Can you put your neck on the slab right now and say Chelsea are going to be in the title race by come the end of the season, or they are just having a piece of the slice because Arsenal and Manchester City are not doing too well? When those teams find their rhythm, Chelsea probably might go back to building 10th. What do you have to say about Chelsea's season so far?
But what about when Chelsea too finds their rhythm and consistency?
Which
Because
rhythm?
like you said,
Which rhythm? Rhythm FM or Rhythm and Blues? Which of the rhythm?
rhythm in sense of the potential of the squad.
Is this not the
I mean, I
potential of
see
the squad
United.
that they are showing?
No, not at all. We still have
Okay,
some
so
few things
so
to
so
iron
so
out.
let's break it down. And I know that the audience, that the viewing audience will say I'm interrupting you, but this is the format of the show. But let's break it down. Are you saying that Nicholas Jackson have a potential that will make him become like a Drogba? Are you saying that Nkunku, who looks like somebody who's lost in the market, in Jankara market, would all of a sudden now become Shevchenko or Zidane? And when we talk about living up to their true potential, Enzo Fernandez would become all of a sudden Lionel Messi. What is the potential from seed to tree that you're trying to explain to me about this Chelsea squad?
So are you saying from what I'm also putting it to you, are you saying from what you are seeing from Nicholas Jackson, he still doesn't have much to offer?
He doesn't have anything more to offer. The only reason why he's performing is because of Mikel Obi. Mikel Obi is the reason why Nicholas Jackson is performing, and this is the highest he can give.
Well, I beg to differ. I still think we have some, things to iron out. I really don't understand why this keeper is still inside. And we still have something, defensive problems. Like you said, we are shooting ourselves in the foot and we are winning. So we are not complaining. But a full strength Chelsea with everyone giving their all, trust me. For top four, I can guarantee that we'll be in the top four. But for the title race, it's still too early to call because we could use the new coach, Maresca. All right. Liverpool too has a new coach. But the structure was in place. He just had to come and tweak one or two things. So it's still Liverpool of club's era with just a bit of a tweak. And with that Liverpool squad, they were at the top of their game. Even on a bad day, they are going to win. But Chelsea has to be on a good day to keep up. That's why it's still premature. And I think with KDB and Cole coming back from injury, City would, go off their slam. So it's still a 2-horse race between Liverpool and City. Arsenal, I'm not so sure because last 2 seasons have been their best to have actually won a Premier League. So I think it's still between Liverpool and City. But for the top four, I'm guaranteeing you, everyone watching that Chelsea will be in the top four come end of the season.
Well, you're the one who said it. Since we don't have anything to drag Ghana for come the African Cup of Nations, we already found the rope to start our I better pass my neighbor generator with this promise. We're going to cut this clip out eventually and keep it in safekeeping. By the end of the season, it is May. It's not too far from now. My mother would say pregnancy does not lie. When 9 months come, the child will be born, and we will know what you were carrying. So, having said that, Chelsea are going to be in the top four. It's not by me. It's by Barrister Marcos from Ghana, our brother. Chale, I've said his own piece. Let me go to Habib. Habib fasted, prayed, took a train, took a bus, took a plane, even catch a grenade and threw it at Eric Ten Hag. He wanted him gone so much that as a fan of Manchester United, it was okay if Remo Stars would beat Manchester United 6-0. If FC Taraba, Ikorodu City would beat Manchester United, all for Eric Ten Hag to be sacked. They got him fired. And then the ship was steadied. It's not direct from Eric Ten Hag misery to Amorim. There was a bridge to bridge the gap with 6 games or so. 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. And then Amorim came in after the international break, after the hugging and kissing in training and introducing a 3-4-3 formation that looked like it's the most innovative team. But Conte have been using it since, won a title with it. We've seen Victor Moses play in that same position that we saw Garnacho and Amad Diallo play. And it seemed like, it was something innovative. I mean, how much complaint can you have? 90 seconds into the game, Manchester United were already 1 goal up. And who scored that goal? Marcus Rashford was the one who scored the goal, left his Amala business and scored that goal. And you would have thought it was going to be florid because Bruno Fernandes had not scored. What's his name called? Garnacho had not scored, and there was possibility of Amad Diallo scoring. And so you were counting the goals, but then at the end of the day, man of the match, virtuoso performance from Omari Hutchinson, whose name sounded like somebody in hip-hop, gave us a very top-class Billboard hip-hop award type of goal. Habib, Manchester United, new manager, same demons. What is happening?
Okay, new manager, same demon. What is happening? To address your question, I think I must put this out there. Many people don't know that Ruben Amorim has a master's degree in sports psychology, especially. Wait.
What does that have? This is how they told us that Graham Potter did military training.
What does that have to do? I'm going to relate it to what does that have to do with Manchester United.
Okay.
Particularly, he has a degree in studying how to hide his facial expression, especially when communicating. So when Ruben Amorim, if you watch him coaching in the sideline in Sporting, when he's coaching, he's always hiding his facial expression. But he got to Manchester United yesterday, and oh boy, he could not hide his facial expression because of how terrible Manchester United players were.
But he said he has ideas.
No, he has the ideas. You could see the idea within the players. He said it himself. The players are giving their all, but he cannot coach some of the decision making at that level. Manchester United were terrible in making decisions, especially in the final third, from Marcus Rashford to Garnacho, particularly Garnacho. I'm particularly annoyed with Garnacho. I'm trying to tone down my criticism of Garnacho because he's still young. And similarly, he's within the age of my younger brother. So I don't want to overly criticize someone who is still young. But some of the decision-making from Garnacho is atrocious. From Marcus Rashford is terrible. Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Amorim complained yesterday, like Bruno Fernandes, just keep the ball. You don't have to go long all the time. And when you go into the midfield, you have like everything, you have Casemiro. These are guys who struggle to play in between the lines. Yes, he said it. It's not about 4-3-3. It's not about the formation. It's about getting the basic ideas right. Making decisions, knowing when to pass, knowing how to pass, and the weight of the pass. There were scenarios in the game yesterday where you had like attacks breaking down. It's quite frustrating to watch. You had attacks breaking down from Garnacho to Rashford. Every time you get the ball towards them, the attack breaks down. Although they did particularly well, especially in some of their build-up play, you could see like flashes of what Ruben Amorim team will bring, particularly in the first 5 minutes. Ahmad, you play out wide with Ahmad and you are able to like cross in, and Marcus Rashford actually got the goal, but they reverted back to default setting. And this is something you have to coach out of the team. You are doing very well in the first 5 minutes and you just revert back to default setting, sitting back. Ruben was trying to instruct the players to push high up the pitch and gain control of the game. But the players, sometimes it's just frustrating to watch, especially for a manager that knows how to hide his facial expression. My God, Ruben Amorim he couldn't hide it anymore. Like, he was really frustrated in the game, and you could see, like, yeah, it's not a matter of the coach per se, or the ideas or the formation. It's a matter of, do we have the right players to fit the profile that Ruben Amorim wants to play? But I still feel like it's still an audition for the players. I think Ruben Amorim will try to figure out which players can key into his system, and probably next season will try to rebuild. He said something. He said if they are to revert back to playing into their natural state, which is like change your formation, or they just try to win with all costs, this time next year, they are still going to be in the same situation where we are complaining about the same fundamental issues. But to be honest, the technical ability of Manchester United is so poor for a top flight team. It's terrible. I don't know if Bobby has any contrary opinion.
Bobby warned us. He said it, that even if they bring God to coach Manchester United, the same players are still going to be doing the same thing. We did not listen. We said, me, chief of them all, said it is Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is not a good coach. He's a bad coach. But then Bobby is beginning to prove me right. I don't know if this is the time to apologize to Bobby, but I'm just going to come and say my pride, my ego, I'm not going to swallow it yet. There's no bottle of water here to swallow it. So I'm still going to hold on to my pride. I like to see Man United suffer. Keep your glass to yourself. I'm not interested. But Bobby, you people picked this manager and said he's the guy. And I know that you are an advocate of give him time. You asked for Erik ten Hag to be given time. I need specifics. How long should we give to Ruben Amorim before we start questioning his ability to turn the ship around? Or are we going to go on another splash of £1 billion, sell all these players, bring in Amorim's players, and at that time, the ancestors or the legions of Man United ex-players would have destroyed the team to the point where no matter what Amorim does, it can. How long do we have to give to Amorim?
Before you ask how long, you first of all need to ask how big is the task that.
What exactly is happening? Is it me or is Bobby? I've never seen Bobby have
Amorim alone cannot solve this problem. This problem is not just about coaching. Yes, exactly. I've been saying it. Some of these players have a low IQ. For a coach to come out and say, there are some things, some decision-making that you don't coach into a player, that is a scathing remark. And those players should be ashamed of themselves. They should go home. They should go home and they should start crying. Because for your coach to say that in your first game, come on, in your first game where they're supposed to be a glow-up, players are meant to be busting their guts, running to and fro, giving all, you didn't see nothing. The only good things we saw in that game from United came in the first minutes of the game and at the restart of the second half. After that, there was nothing. There was nothing at all. We gave the ball away. The same things he complained about before we started, the same issues he said he had seen from this team that we need to change. Giving the ball away, lack of intensity, no running. It wasn't there. Yes, you can look at the midfield, Casemiro and Eriksen. That's a bad combo. It doesn't work. Both players don't have legs. Yes, Eriksen is an intelligent player. He picks the right passes, but there are no legs in there when you put them together. Back to what you said, how long will it take? It take a long time. And my happiness is that, yeah, you might say, okay, I wanted us to get a positive result. But for me, that result we got yesterday is a good result with a bad taste. It's good because if we had won that game 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, or even got a win, people will say, oh yeah, Bounce, the new manager Bounce. Yeah, they're showing themselves. But from this game now, Amorim's eyes are open. Because I'm sure Amorim did not believe some of the things he saw yesterday. He couldn't believe what these guys were playing. Simple pass. We have been talking about those for weeks. Simple passes. Oh, God's sake. Simple passes they cannot even make. Decision making, reading the game, making the right runs, they cannot even make. You wonder, okay, I've been talking about the likes of Bruno. He brought out Bruno. And one good thing is that this manager is not afraid to call players out. And he has started doing it. But another thing is that when Ten Hag came in, Ten Hag was calling players out in the first season. Second season, he stopped. Second season, the way he talked changed. So as long as he continues and as long as Ineos backs him, because in the advent, we will try and fix square pegs and round holes, but some players will not fit. There will be casualties. Some players will have to leave. But Ineos have to back Amorim. That's the key thing. If Amorim does all this, points out these issues, does everything, and he's not backed, we are going to be back to square one. Main positive, I saw an idea. You could see the idea, you could see your philosophy, you could see what he wants to do. But the thing is about you might have something to do. The problem is executing that plan. We have to execute that plan. It's going to take time. How long will it take? As long as it takes, it's going to take, and we must be patient.
I beg to differ in Ten Hag calling out players. If I've never met a Dutch person in my life and Ten Hag was the first person I met, I would think all Dutch people are liars. Ten Hag comes to the press conference and he says like contradicting things from what we see. The team plays bad. Ten Hag comes to the media to say, oh, they played fantastic well. You could see the XG. You could see this, that. You could see that we've won trophies. That's the main difference between Ten Hag and Amorim.
No. I said in his first season.
In the first season.
In the first season, Ten Hag was calling everybody out.
Calling everybody out, yeah.
Yeah, second season is when everything changed.
His biggest casualty even was Cristiano Ronaldo. What he did with Cristiano Ronaldo, there are not too many coaches in the history of football that can do that. But he did it. Actually, in his first season, he was calling everybody out. But eventually, he became a company man. If you've ever read John Grisham's novel, The Company Man, he became a company man. Told the line so that your salaries will come in and whatever happens, let it happen. You know, not everybody is Antonio Conte who can go to the press and lash at Tottenham and, you know, lash at Levy and let everybody know that this club have a bad mentality. Having said that, let me go to China. You know, when you have China, you work your brain extra because first off, you have to put up questions that are intelligent enough for his level. But beyond that, you have to think, where do I play this card? Do I play it in the European football or play it within the MPFS space? And I've been reading extract from his new book. They are exciting me. I thought this one. So if you're watching this, go buy this book. It's on Amazon, so you can order it. You order this book, and the good thing about this book is that, see, let's not lie. You know, everybody say I don't watch porn. I don't watch porn, but it's a $300 billion industry. I don't know whether or not dead body they watch them. You see this book, don't deceive yourself. Oh, it's not about football. You see this book here, so if you read this book, this is YouTube, and your prick no stand as a man, as you are impotent. You are the Ethiopian eunuch that is talked about in the Bible. If you're a woman, you read this book.
Pornhub, don't swim.
If you read this book, woman, wetness not involved. Don't say not me talk. You don't need Kayamata. This book is its own Kayama. It's an activator. I'm just telling you. First, read this one before you buy the new one because I heard that this one is training school compared to the new book. The new one, that one just take you straight away. So, China, let's talk about some of the things that are happening in the Nigerian league right now that is giving us orgasm. Emmanuel Amunike started this season like a shame to the community. Like, oh, look at what Finidi George is doing after the disgrace of the Super Eagles. Look at what this person is doing. All the small coaches are doing. Emmanuel Amunike, is this not the coach that they said should come and coach the Super Eagles? But all of a sudden, is on a brilliant and beautiful run. With Heartland, that we all know that they don't pay well. There's nobody who's playing football that will really want to go sign for Heartland. Heartland is the do. Okay, there's no club signing me. Okay, let me just go and sign for Heartland. But all of a sudden, they are doing well. His pressers is impressing me in his pressers. I need to hear your own perspective of Emmanuel Amunike.
Well, it would have been easy to gloat and laugh at him because the race for the Super Eagles was very heated. When we agreed to go for a Nigerian coach, it was not heated between the camp of Finidi George and the camp of Amonike. And when Finidi got the job, the other camp felt Amonike was the better prospect. Now, Finidi went to Rivers United, Amonike went to Heartland, and he was having poor results, while Finidi was having great results. We are okay to gloat and like, is this the man that shall carry the Super Eagles? But in recent times, results have been proved. He has run away from home. He's on a streak where he has not lost for some time now. The team has moved from bottom of the table to 11th on the table, which is not bad. So maybe he just needed time to begin to do with his boys what he wanted them to do. He just needed time. It's a long season, it's a long league. When you put a club like Heartland, it could just be a flash in the pan because eventually if your boys are not well paid, they may not be motivated for the long haul. But the fact that the team has picked up at this point or for the past few weeks, it shows that something is different in the team. Could it also be the addition of Mike Idoko into the management of the team? Could it also be? But again, management is one thing, the actual coaching on the pitch and results is another thing. I'll give Amonike the credit, because when the team was doing badly, he was taking the shame. Whatever he's doing with the team, he's doing it well, and results are showing. We are proud of him.
Before I still need to bring you in on this, but this time it's going to be a question that I've asked before. We've seen enough game now to really elaborate on it. Rivers United were on the cusp of signing Brani Day. And even when they were winning, there was the talk of they're not scoring enough goals. They need goals in that team. They need somebody to be burying the ball in the net, or the link between the midfield and the goals itself, because I can't see between midfield and attack now. And he trained with them. Scored a wonder goal, was on the verge. Barrister Christopher Green said he's willing to sign him. He would like to have him there. I mean, he's got a property in Port Harcourt. The player also said he wants to play for Rivers United or no other team. If he's not Rivers United, he will retire. Finidi George was playing safe with his comments. Oh, yeah, I will get him. I would. And then Oke Paluku, the GM, decided to be the wiki of the team, the gangster who decided to go a different line. And that deal did not happen. Since that time, Rivers United have struggled. Can they still go back and say, Bran, we see you. We see what you're doing. We think we can, do a deal now. Let's do a deal. Bring you back. We just want to go on the continent. We want to win the league title and go play on the continent. And it's something that can be done. Is there a back door, a back channel way for that to happen?
No, I don't think so. I mean, for that to happen, there must be two willing parties. One will be Rivers United, and two will Brown there. You know that Brown was about to announce his retirement from football. It was you that convinced him not to.
Yeah.
Then you all spoke with me, and I said, okay, there's Rivers United. Now, and he wanted to just, because he said it 6 years ago, that he wants to end his career with one more year in the Nigerian league. So he wasn't playing for the money, he wasn't asking for anything. All he wanted to do was just play for one more year and end it. But what we heard from the team was we don't have the money to meet his demands. Brown did not make any demands.
That's the funny thing. The player didn't make any demand, and all of a sudden, you just assume.
Because I was part of the whole discussion. Brown did not make any demands. When they asked him, how much should we pay you? He said, it's not about the payment. Make me an offer. Whatever you give me, I just want to play football. So when they now come out to say, we don't have money to meet his demands, and they add something like, even if we had the money, and we pay him, it's going to create friction between him and the other players. Hey, this man didn't ask for anything. So I don't know where that's coming from. So I don't think it's going to happen. And I want to also say the team went to that rough patch of form because they didn't sign Brown. No, because without Brown, we are doing well. So I'm not going to say, it was just a rough patch they had. Will he come back to play for Rivers United? I don't think that will happen. Is any other club in Nigeria interested in him? I don't know about that. what he told me was, I wanted to play in the Nigerian league. I didn't get the chance. It's best I just follow my plan A and retire from football. So I guess he's going to do that.
Well, Brandon, if you're watching this at any given time, I am going to work hard to drag you out of that retirement. Ahmed Musa told me last year that he's retired. He's not playing football again. We see him running faster in the MPFL than even the guys who are young. So there is a possibility. The words of Bobby, the comedian, never say never. So let me come to you, Barrister Marcus. 36 days before we run out of this year and go into 2025. And in that 36 days, my children already have their shopping list for Christmas. I don't know. I tell them, why you're writing that list, also pray that God give your daddy money, because without money, now wait till they this house when I go shop. Marcus, what is the shopping list for Chelsea right now? Who are they going to sign? Because you said there are potentials in the team that would materialize into greatness. Who are the players that needs to sign? Probably they have the car, they have the tire, they have the engine, but they need to sign the battery. Who are those players on your shopping list? And I'm also going to ask that same question to Habib and Bobby. Let's leave Liverpool out of this. They really do not have anything to add up. That team is fantastic. Unless they lose Trent Alexander-Arnold, they lose, what is it called? They lose Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. But the way it's going, it's looking more likely that they will stay. But for you, Chelsea, who's on your shopping list? Who's most likely to come in?
Well, with how the season has panned out, I will not be able to say something, because initially I was like, okay, fine, a striker based on last season's Nicholas Jackson.
Don't you need a goalkeeper?
So I was coming to that. We already had a goalkeeper in Petrovic, but they said he's not good with his feet. I don't know what we see with Sanchez, because yes, that's how football is played now. If you have a keeper who can also distribute, it's a plus, because the coaches.
Then play midfielder in goal.
But then we had Petrovic, who was okay. Last season, he was okay. I thought probably would have gone in for Diogo Costa, and I think that's what has been for the past 2 seasons. But they were like, price tag, 45 million release clause. If the numbers are correct, I remember. Let's buy 2025. Then you bought another keeper, Jorgensen. I don't understand why we bought him if he's not going to play, because Sanchez is just not it. If we really want to be a team that will be challenging for titles, it's just not with Sanchez. Because I think we have a team now with Nicholas Jackson firing and his overall contribution being much more impressive. But, well, if generally we can get the player you don't like, who's the top 5 striker in the world, Victor, I think we'll be complete. Because
I
still
like
Jackson at number 9.
I don't have a problem with Victor. I like him. I just think that he owe Nigerians and Finidi George an apology. And if he doesn't do that, he's on his own. I'm on my own.
So, I think Jackson is the only number 9. Nkunku is not a natural number 9. Joao Felix, all that. So we don't have any competition for Jackson. So in case he goes on a slump, he's still going to play. But if we had Victor, I think would also push Jackson that, yes, now you have a player better than you. You don't have a birthright to the starting position. Maybe we could also, well, it pains me to say this, but probably we should start thinking of cutting our losses on Reece James. Because to be honest,
because of the injuries,
he has had the leverage, because he has born a Chelsea boy, academy boy, born and bred Chelsea boy, and he signed with us at the time Real Madrid was actively looking for him. So it's like on that. But for a while now, he's just not available. He's just not available. He's the best in his position. But when is he not available? Chilwell too had the same injury issue, because the balance was with James and Chilwell. But Chilwell doesn't have the leverage of his James, and he's out of the team. So I think we should probably think of shoring up that line, give another cover for Gusto, because Gusto is good, but Gusto is not a starting caliber player for me. I think the squad is okay. So a new keeper and Victor coming in, and I'm good to go. But regardless, we are still finishing now in the top 4.
Okay. As we run out of time, and the barrister is sure of Chelsea finishing in the top 4, which we will address in May, I want to go to Bob Habib. You have prayed, you have fasted. The enemy is gone, but the team is so injured, it seems like the enemy is still there. Who are the savior that you guys need to sign? Is it a Moses, an Aaron, a Miriam, a Joshua and Caleb? Who is coming to save your team? Who's on your shopping list?
The enemy is gone. but the saboteurs are still there. So we need to identify the saboteurs first.
I like that.
So when you have enemies, we have people who assist the enemy in committing the atrocities. So we have to identify people who have assisted
Habib, you're
in
mean.
committing
Do you realize
whatever atrocities they've done. First of all, I think we need to clear out players before we even talk about signings. Players like Johnny Evans is 36 years old. Come on, you need to just retire. Players like Casemiro, his legs are gone. Leave football before football leaves you, just as Jamie Carragher has said. Players like Eriksen is playing with a pacemaker in his chest. We don't know what will happen probably in the next
I can't believe you're this mean,
like,
Sha.
It could collapse again. So
you have innocent like face.
Are you sacking them because of age or because of impact? Because Johnny Evans is your best defender at the start.
Good one. I like that.
Johnny Evans, why should you rely on a 36? If a 36-year-old defender is your best defender, there's something fundamentally wrong with
your Argentine butcher is not able to butcher anything, even a rat. And you're talking of a 36-year-old man who actually gets the job done.
Yeah, like I said, if
he has some special set of skills that he has acquired over the years. If
a 36 years old is starting for one of the biggest clubs in England, there's a fundamental problem. Is a 36-year-old starting for Arsenal? No. Is a 36-year-old starting for Man City? No. Is a 36-year-old starting
because
for
those players Arsenal actually
why are we
your
trying to make that same
defenders are rubbish, for the want of a better word?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A 36 years
so sack them and find new defenders and keep the old guys till you can get someone who can replace them. That's continuity.
Shouldn't be starting for Manchester United. Also, I don't rate Bruno Fernandes. Other people do, but I don't. My profile of midfielders are midfielders who can keep the ball, not midfielders who treat the ball like a time bomb. You need to be able to hold on to the ball and spray passes and also dribble. Bruno Fernandes gets the ball, and the next thing is hoofing it to like 37 yards. And one thing he does...
We're done. With the time bomb, we're done. There's no, nothing to add. Bobby, you want to add anything to time bomb? I've never heard any human being say somebody treats a football like a time bomb in my life. And I've been following football since 1986.
Yeah, you can say time bomb, hot potato, but it's true. For me, I would say there are 3 key points we need to improve in relation to this team. We need to get a left-sided defender, and my mind is Brent Waite. We need an offensive left wing back. I would say Kirkes of Bournemouth. We need a winger. We're actually looking at Nipam of Rosenborg. We need a CDM because Casemiro has to leave, and most probably to be Ederson